What does it mean to you? When does old age begin? Is there a time or an age? And how is it viewed generally in society? So let's start, as we usually do, with a general idea of what first comes to mind if you hear the words or the term old age. What do you think of? Let's have some general thoughts, first of all. Natalia, can I ask you to
Yeah,
start?
sure. Because I have my favorite examples of just, let's say, that old-aged people. So I was really excited to find out how could be and possible be happy living together 17 years. Yes, and if you can, I can share with you. Maybe Larissa watched this video, and there was a speaker. She explained, she shared about her life and about her parents, and she just showed her parents living together and be happy of 70 years old. I can show
Wow.
I can send you a link just to see the people, just to see their faces and just a couple of seconds. If you can show us, I just sent you a link because
Have you
I
sent the
think
link? Where have you? Will you send it in the private
yes,
chat?
yes, I will send you a
Then
link.
I will try to
Just
show it. And this
yeah,
is
just a second, and I will provide comments. And there were interesting questions from here, from the daughter from this speaker. She asked the parents two important questions. First of all, she asked about how to live so many years and being happy, and what is important thing key of being happy of so many years. And her mother asked the first, and she told that nothing disturbs. Just well, because the question was, what helped you to live together? And the answer of her mother was, nothing disturbs. And then she asked the father, but father, he doesn't hear very well. And mom just asked him, her mom asked him the same question, and the answer was the same. Nothing disturbs. So just it's really interesting. And so what helped? Nothing disturbs. Just to be together and be happy. Yes, just to see if it's maybe the connection. Well, yes, you see there is there is a couple. Yeah, and he is about 95 and 93 old. And just if
right.
it's, you see their happy faces, just look at them. Just it's amazing. It's amazing to all live together. So just
Okay. I don't know if you
yeah,
could
and
see
then
that.
I saw the picture just so maybe just I'm not sure that Andreas could see. And the second question was, what is love? And husband, the father asked, it's pleasurable feeling to a loving person. And his wife answered, it's a full compatibility of characters. It's a work. It's a pleasurable work. So that was the answer. So really, I was really impressed and amazed how to be in this age and to live so long and be happy. So old age, I think it's our acceptance and how our feeling. And of course, yes, we cannot trick our physiology, and if it just according to maybe standards of age, so we can of course to define. But anyway, sometimes you see such wonderful examples. Age is nothing. this way.
Right, very nice. Yes, thanks for that, Natalia. So let me ask you then the tag-on question, when does old age begin? Is it 60,
I don't know.
70, 80, 90? Or
I don't know.
can we
Maybe
not
just
put a number on it?
it's up to you how you feel. If you feel that you're old, okay, you're old. If you feel that you're young, it's young. You're young. Of course, you don't have maybe such physical sources, and you can run faster. You can be at the same level of 20 when people just you cannot compare yourself when you're 70 with 20 with people who are 20s. But that's like, I think it's kind of a state of mind how you feel it. And when you feel young, you're energetic, and it provides you more resources, energy, and so many things.
Okay, fantastic. Yes, thanks, Natalia. Okay, so let me ask Andreas or Larissa, how about you? What do you first think of? What images does it conjure up in your mind?
Yes, of course, in my 40s, I don't just think about my old age. And I think that it is the issue of everyone's in their 40s. But according to the World Health Organization, the old age in 70, 75, or they moved things to years old and more. Was for me, and according to Natasha's video, of course, I saw the link, and I was very impressed. And of course, this is a great spouse, and this 70 years old love story. But what was very important for me, first of all, that this is two persons who not only have the positive thoughts on their life, but they had a very good intellectual background. First of all, she was a teacher in school, and her husband was a scientific man. All his life, he worked at the university, and he studied all his life. And you know that my first occupation, I worked more than 10 years as a doctor. And I know that good level of education, what will prevent you from old age, from dementia, is your brain. This is the studies, lessons, intellectual work every day. And this prevents you from being old. And I actually did, and this is my position. I was in my 70 or 80 with my good brain, nothing more.
Yes, that's a very good point, isn't it? I think as long as our brains are active, there are many types of activities that people recommend to avoid dementia, or at least to delay it as much as possible. Yes, thank you,
May I just
Larissa.
really add several points about this story? Just sorry for Andrea, because yes, just I will add just a few seconds.
Okay,
So
briefly, if you may.
in this story, at the end of this TED Talk video, but it's in Russian, unfortunately. So this how her father in online sonate. And just can you imagine this guy? He's academic, he's a scientist. He can play the piano, and he's 97 years. 97 years old. Wife asked her daughter present to her 85. There is a treadmill, and it was fantastic vision how she was walking and reading poetry out loud. So it's amazing
Wow.
just how people, yeah, and Larissa mentioned that, of course, you have to train your brain to be really in a good shape and in order, not just physically. Of course, you have to train your brain.
Yes, right. It reminds me of a story a friend of mine sent me just within the last week about a man who lived in the town that I was living in until a couple of weeks ago, and he had taken part in a local competition. I think he was over 100, if I remember correctly, and he had taken part in a sports event, and he had done the 100-meter sprint and many other activities. So it's very impressive. Obviously, he wasn't quite competing with younger people, but the fact that he's still able to compete at all is impressive, I think, as a centurion. Yes. Andreas, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear. Don't know what the connection. I made e-tests parallelly, and actually the connection is very good. Restream has trouble.
Perhaps. Yes, it may be this side. Something's happening.
Okay, I will try. Yeah. Oh, as you said, old age.
Oh dear, sorry, I think we've lost Andreas. Maybe he will come back. Hello?
I am back. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can just about.
Oh, that's trouble again. Maybe I should switch the browser. I'm in Google Chrome now. I could go to Edge if
Right.
it doesn't work. Last try. So old age was far away, as you mentioned, in the 40s, and it will take a long time to get it in the old age. I was laughing at people who would midlife crisis, and it's like that. After it's to me there was a significant turning point in the mid 40s, because as no matter how old I become, it's over. And the half time has some meaning in it, and it does something. You just have peace till the old age, but old age these are be inactive for. But when I think back 20 years, they passed by in 1 decade. It's like yesterday. And when I think 20 years in the future, I will be easily 70. So I can switch off my brain. Just these exercises 20 years ago and 20 years future.
Yes, right. Oh, I think we got most of that. Yeah, it's definitely true, isn't it? Our perspective on age. When we're young, of course, a short time seems like a long time. I suppose relative to our whole life, it can be. As a 10-year-old, a year is 10% of your life, whereas now in my 40s, it'd be a whole 4 years equivalent. Yes, so perhaps that's why time seems to speed up as we get older. Okay, let's talk about how we view talking about looking into the future. Are you looking forward to your old age, or are you worried about it and trying to maybe it's natural to try and reduce the
Uh,
effects of aging, or how do you feel about getting older?
I think that we cannot stop the process. We cannot stop the time. So we can, because just every day we are getting older anyway. And so the final, it's the death. So we cannot accept, we can avoid it, and so on. But we cannot. It's up to us what kind of life we would like to choose. To be happy now, or just to be sad. To think about how life is bad, or just to live and be happy. Let me provide another example of my favorite example. Yeah, he's 87, not just a little bit younger, but anyway, he's 87. He is a journalist, a Russian journalist, Vladimir Pozner. He's French-born Russian-American journalist. He speaks 3 languages very well. He's, of course, he was best known in the West television appearance representing and explanation the views of the Soviet Union during the Cold War. He's famous in the States, and of course. He interviewed a lot of famous people, like Hillary Clinton. Moreover, he's 87. He's in good shape. He played tennis twice a week. He is jogging 3 times. So just he has physical activity and he's in good shape. And a very interesting question that a young sportsman asked him about how to young and how to look really good in this age. And the answer was really interesting. He mentioned, he thought there are many points: nutrition, good traits. He referred to his mom's upbringing. Of course, he did sports, but he thought that the most important thing is find yourself or profession, fulfill yourself, find yourself and your kids, be friends, and share its love, good relations with your spouse. So, and these things make a person young, happy, and energetic. I think it's a really brilliant question, because I think it's really true. Just how you feel, and what about your life? How you just live your own life. Just your profession.
Yes.
And yes, I mean, just it's really important to realize yourself, just to do your wonderful job.
Yeah, it makes me think actually of my own mother, I must say. I saw a picture of her the other day. She is now 77. She won't mind me sharing, I hope. But she is very active in her life. She had a long profession, and as a doctor, she worked as long as she could. Many years after the normal retirement age, and even into her retirement, she's very active. She lives in a foreign country from our own. She lives in France, but not only does she live there, she is actively involved with the local golf course and the youth team. She volunteers to take care of the young French golf players, and speaks to them in French, and keeps her mind very active. And yeah, maybe I can share a picture with you if you don't mind. A slight
Yes,
indulgence.
sure.
She sent one the other day, which I thought she's looking well. I don't know if you can see this picture. Perhaps I would turn it on here.
Oh.
She's
very young.
Yes,
Yes.
This boy is one of the young local golf players who she looked after. She was testing him about something related to golf. So I will share.
I thought first of all, you in your childhood.
No, it's a recent picture. He does look a little bit like me. Yes.
Yeah, it's a wonderful example. So just she's happy, but because we see her smile and she's happy with her life. It just
Yes, I did. I did think of that. I hadn't planned to share that, but I thought of it as you were talking. And I know certainly about talk about dementia, and she's very keen because unfortunately her mother did suffer from dementia in the later years, so she's very keen to avoid that, you know, if at all possible. So she does keep very active. And I think, you know, talking with as we're doing now, speaking another language and learning another language is a great way to keep your brain active.
yeah. So just we're just on the right way. We're learning English, and so it's kind of like a train our brain and cannot maybe just to prolong it when people could be faced with dementia. Yeah.
Yes. Andreas, welcome back. Can you hear us now? I'm not sure if he's there. Well, we'll continue and hopefully he can hear us and he can join us again. So, okay, perhaps Larissa, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, and I have, first of all, this is one example which made Natasha Dementia, and I became as a patient. He worked at medical Chinese school, and he was a patient of our clinic. I wasn't his doctor, but I remember appearance of when one day came to for his checkup, and he can translate and explain all his results of his medical examination, and he knew what level of cholesterol, for example, he should have, and what he had now. So his brain is very level of the development of his brain. His 80 now, but he was 83 or 84 in those years. This is, of course, it's very important to find yourself, your profession, your family, a good parent for good. But as for me, I think of course, I don't know, and I don't think about my old age, but I'm afraid of my old age because in Russia, if old age woman, this is a terrible. According to the situation which we see on video Natasha, and 97 years old man is sanated by Tchaikovsky, like sanated by. I know that our patients in 80 mostly improvised, not at the piano. So I'm afraid of patient, and I don't want to be some kind of, I don't want to be in need, and I don't want to stop like babies in my 80s. So I don't know what to do, but I want to stay healthy.
Yes, right. Healthy mind and body.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
So sure, of course,
Okay.
we should. It's up to us to work on just to try to just do best. Yes, just like not to wait, do our best in order to prevent, in order to support us and from this. And of course, we cannot forecast what we will in 10 years or just tomorrow. And anyway, we cannot just say exactly.
Yes. So, next question then. What new hobbies will you take up in your old age? Or what activities are good for? We've talked about piano has been mentioned, playing musical instruments, perhaps speaking foreign languages.
Reading
What else?
reading or just reading out loud. poetry. It's also good training for our brain.
Yes. Playing chess, perhaps.
Yes, chess is also a good
Yeah.
training for our brain. Of course, socialize. I think that is also important to socialize, to dance anyway. Just when I see in the park, when all people are dancing, it's so touching to see they in, and it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yes, it's really popular in China, I know. They have something they call square dancing, whereby a
Yeah, the
huge
same in
section of
Russia.
the population. Do you also have
Yeah,
this? Is it popular among the elderly?
and I see that all
Yeah, I
people
think
there,
it's
how
fantastic.
fantastic view that how they can live and be happy and just like smiling. And I think that it could really promote their life. I mean, just active life, being healthy, and
Yes. Yeah, I think dancing has the aspects of what you've mentioned, socializing. It's active as well. You have to coordinate your movements as you're using your brain. So it ticks many of the boxes.
yes. For example, my mom is 72, and she do exercise every day in the morning. Her exercise. And also she walk twice a day or just once a day. It's important for her, just walking and walking fast, just walking fast. Of course, she's in good shape. She's 47 kilograms. She's not fat. She's in good shape, and she's energetic and active. And of course, she trained her um, mathematics. She's good and she could teach kids mathematics. Of course, her brain is working at formula and figures, and also she reads books, and of course she's socialized and she has a lot of friends, and so it's really nice just having such a life.
Yes, fantastic. I'm not sure. Andreas, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you now.
Okay, my restream shows 0 and points in connection, but yeah, I think one point is that we shouldn't start these activities at the point when we retire or when we feel low. I think it's
Right.
worthwhile to right now, or while we
Right.
are young or feel young,
Good point.
because we won't change it's difficult to change everything, change the complete life when we have come to the where we are old age. And I also observed from relatives and other elderly people that we tending to become more inflexible the older we become. Know how active we are.
Yes,
I think it's
that's
again.
no, it's okay. We can
Okay.
hear you.
And
That's a very good point.
I think we should start this way to continue this way when we get older, instead of starting a new way when we are old.
Yes, that's a good point, isn't it? It's always easier to continue something, carry on rather than start.
And then
Good
maybe
point.
to intensify when we have more time to do.
Yes. Why wait? Why wait until we are old? Start anything if there's anything we want to start. Yes, my newest challenge for myself is to start doing the kite surfing, which has been delayed, but I still plan to do some this year. So, okay, let me ask you a similar connected question. How will your life be different when you reach your old age?
I think it's a really difficult question. Just we can really say something, but it depends on the situation, the environment, on the quality of our life. I think that's also our financial support, and so many points. So of course, if you're financially supported and you have time, money for new activities, of course you can take some master classes, or just you can play the piano, or just dancing, or just some activities could be free of charge, but some activities you have to pay. And so of course it's kind of it's really difficult, and of course financially supported first of all, and be healthy, just just how it depends also of the quality of your health to do something, to do if just really based on what we have now. Just I don't think that I will be active forever, just I will do this and that, and just to continue. Yes, I will continue. I work. I like to work. I would like to continue to work, and also have a and be active. So I don't like to work. So of course I the same, just to continue my I did it. You know, with the sound.
Sorry, I muted myself because it was windy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was just saying to keep going as long as possible, to doing the activities that you love. Yes. Right. I know that, yeah, even until relatively recently, my parents had been skiing. I'm not sure if I suppose there comes a point where there might be something you can't do anymore. But yep, keep going as long as possible. It reminds me, I've skied with some older people. One Austrian gentleman I remember in particular. He was in his 80s, but obviously had been a great skier all his life, and he could ski quite beautifully, but he only did half a day. So, but I think he skied in the mornings only and rested in the afternoon, but he still had great technique. And how about you, Larissa?
Me, it's a really difficult question. First of all, my ideas around me. I want to be Jew, I want to study another language, not only English, also my French, Dutch, and so on. But one day, at the middle of the year, I understood that it's not very important for me to develop myself. I have to develop my it's of course now we speak about my old age and what I will do with my age, but I want to do something not for myself but for someone. And as an example of my life in September, I began teaching my Dutch English as English professional used to have lessons. I began to do myself. It's very difficult way for every person. You have to find interesting things, interesting methods who will be interesting for your baby and who will give you some kind of interest in the subjects. And for me. So in my old age, I hope that it will be useful to our society. I hope that I will do something for my I'm sorry, how do you say children, not children, but of my babies. What is
Your
it?
grandchildren?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to be very careful for my children, and I want to do something for society. Maybe some gymnastics, the French and so on. I hope.
Yes. Sorry, we didn't catch the very last part.
The last part was that I want to be very useful to our society, not just for my grandchildren, but also my peeps, maybe at the same age.
Okay,
Larissa,
thank you. Yes, that's a really
you
great
are really,
point about contribution.
I'm really glad that you're really useful for society. Just you help us and you give advice and you always your medical advice is really valuable and always medical support. Thank you very much for it. So you're really useful.
Thank you.
Okay, and Andreas?
For me, I think the main difference will be that life is by the job so much that I'm responsible for not only for the spare time but for the whole day. And I think there are much more opportunities. I like the job or not, but it's determined by job at the moment, by the work. With the main difference.
It's a good point, isn't it? I think this often is one of the key markers or boundary between, I don't know, being young, being working full time, and then being retired. Perhaps it's not always so clear cut, but for many people love this time of their life and they really relish it and make the most of it. Whereas for others, I know it can, for some people, suddenly there is a sense of emptiness perhaps, or a lack of purpose if they have worked at something all their life. So I think it's something you need to be careful about or consider. What are your views on that? Have you come across a similar situation? Have you heard about that? Whereas some people's health can deteriorate quite quickly once they retire and stop working, because
I think it's a bad point just to stop working, because that in this way you will think about that is a final end, and of course it affects on you. And I think it's really, sometimes people are retired and in 1 or 2 years pass away because they think that they should sit at home and doing nothing, just because they don't see as why their life should be continued. So I think that we have to, keep going. Just if you can work, just work, because Vladimir Posner, 87 years old, he's still a journalist. He has a program, and I will send you a link. You will see how he was invited to Britain, to British program morning, and he is really brilliant. He could explain some. He could say something about Russia and point of view is fantastic. And
yes,
Yes, it's really
fantastic.
important just
But is that it's
to
perhaps not possible for everyone in their jobs? I don't know if someone,
but it's
like I
not
know
like
my own mother's case, and
kind
you
of
know they
just
did work up until quite late.
I think that
Not
you
everyone
have
can
to,
continue their career
yeah,
into
but
their
not everyone
70s or
wants to
80s.
continue. Yes, not everyone wants.
Right,
Just
exactly.
yes, yes. I
So
think
what
it's
can
a
people
shame.
do? What should people do? What should we do
Yeah.
instead? We need
Yes.
to have another
So I think
focus for our attention, another purpose, perhaps.
Yes. I'm sorry, I want to an example, and it's not about old age, but it's about different kinds of stresses in our life. So as when I talked as doctor, I read medical article about the most stresses. So as the first place was the death of your close wife or husband. The second place was the divorce. At the third place was the retirement or you and what is an example? My husband changed his job here, and so as we leave this summer period, colleagues, it's a man in their 50s and more, and a person in his 55 or 60 years old, his wife died from coronavirus infection. And after that, of course, stressful situation for him, and he began to drink a lot, to drink alcohol every day, and as a result, he was retired from his job, but it was difficult for my husband and for other colleagues too. And
Hello, Larissa. I think she's coming back. Let's just add her back in. Yes, sorry, we just lost you for a few moments.
okay, thank you. And the colleague of my husband, his wife died from coronavirus, and he is in his zone. This more clever. He don't drink alcohol a lot. He decided to rebuild his life and to new thing. He decided to find a new for him for his life. But we all know that it's very difficult to find the one in this age. So he opened the virtue of acquaintance, and he found I'm sorry for this example, but he find a prostitute. And first of all, he visited her several times in a week, but after that, he has a sympathy to her, and now they live together. When colleagues of my husband used you about the story, they began to terrible things, man, and so the shame and so on. But I don't know what is better: keep down and to make a friendship with alcohol, or to try something new and to find a person for yourself, and to stay work at your job and be a person as everyone, but sympathy with someone. So it's very difficult to be really emotionally calm in 55 when you have so great stress in your life. So I accept situation, and I accept his position. I don't know what I will do in my 58 or 60 when I'm sorry, but if I will be alone. But I accept the situation that I can be a friendship with the prostitute and so on. This is better than to live alone. This is my only.
Yeah, thank you, Larissa. Yes, right. It does seem better, certainly. You know, we are often quick to judge. I don't want to get into the moral debate about that, but yeah, I can certainly see why, you know, choosing life and if both of them are consensual and happy about the situation.
I think it also says the social connection is essential no matter what we are doing. It
Right.
keeps us alive. And
Yes.
in terms of work, I think Natalia said, I think we should define what is work. When you said we should continue working, I think we should continue to be active and to do meaningful things. That's also the point why work is important, because there's a meaning, there's a purpose, and for other people with something other profit of. And also if you drive at things voluntary engagement that is meaningful and that has an effect to other people, I think it's it can be the same.
Yes, very good point. Yes. So it is a kind of work, really, and it's meaningful. It benefits other people. Yeah, so whether it's our career, our profession, or something else that we do, which we invest our time and effort into, especially if we can have a benefit for other people. Yes, definitely that can give us that sense of purpose in our lives. And I think, again, coming back to my own mother, I know that she, you know, she does a lot of volunteering with the golf club, with the children there. It helps her being active. She enjoys spending time around the young people, and also she is contributing to their development.
Wonderful
Okay, great.
example. Yes. Yes, a wonderful example of your mom. 77, yes, you mentioned. She's 77.
Yes, my father is actually 82, and he's he doesn't do quite as much volunteering, but he's still pretty active. Plays golf and sings in a choir, and among many other activities. I know he loves to do Sudoku. Is one of his. He loves these puzzles, so he keeps his mind active, and they read a lot, and as well, and they have company. You know, they have a great social circle and family as well. They keep in touch as much as possible. So, okay, let me come on. Thanks, guys. And I want to come on to the last part, the last question then today, which is about how we treat the elderly as a society. You know, are we fair? Do we treat the elderly as they should? Should they be treated differently? I'd be interested to get your thoughts on this and how what the situation is where you live.
We just you mean just our attitude, maybe just to be positive and just to if just they ask you how to supposed to maybe to be involved, and we know that it's getting older and older. So and of course you help. One is kind of like feedback to you, maybe just have you would get from other people. Do even such how to say the structure of the world.
Karma, perhaps.
Yeah, kind of.
Sounds a bit like that. Yes, and perhaps we also have expressions, you know, to give. You get out what you put in, or what goes around comes around. We also say. Okay, let me get thoughts from Larissa and Andreas.
Yes, I know that it's difficult time, so I try to with the old people and I try to keep my baby and to respect each
I think
Yes.
people are treated in a respectful way and is not out on it, but nevertheless, the problem is based on the today. Can you hear me? Interruption again. I think the main problem is the loneliness of many elderly people, although they are respected in a full way, but the way we live together or the sense to live and to move to other cities or other countries, the effect is that a lot of elderly people live alone in maybe a big house where years ago the whole family lived, but it's far too big at the moment. And I think it's the biggest threat for a lot of them. They feel very lonely.
Yes. Good point. But what's the solution then? How can we counteract that? I have heard of some schemes, I forget which country it was in, but one place where young students who were looking for cheap or affordable accommodation would move in with elderly people who were lonely and who were able to give the young students somewhere to live. So they had this reciprocal relationship, and it seemed like a great idea to me. I don't know if you've heard of anything like that, or loneliness can be a big problem. Perhaps the younger generation feel we don't have time to spend with the older generation. We need to work. We have busy lives. Yeah, how can we manage this? What can
we
we
have to
do?
call our parents more often.
I think that
Yes, always good advice.
not to push a young generation that you have to issues. I think it's your choice. But as you mentioned, that it's really important to this way you're old, and it's very important when you're old. Your friends that you can talk about their life and talk about movies and talk about anything else, because yes, kids and your kids maybe they could live in another city or just another country, and they cannot be available so every day, and so of course they are busy, they are work, they have less time, they have their own families. But I think it's up to you. What are you about? What is the person you are? Are you just a good person that in this way you would have good friends? And so I believe in it.
Yes, great.
And
Well, yes, please. Final thoughts, everybody.
one last answer to what could be done at our children's school. There's been established formal workshops, and that means that regularly people visit school and they do a workshop and work in the profession they previously worked. So there are artists that are explain everything, and they insights on insights in their profession, and this really very beneficial sides
Yes.
for children to get information and to get content. They're very fascinated of these people, and for the elderly as well. It's meaningful for them, and they enjoy this.
Yes, I bet. It sounds like a great initiative. I think it's always great for the very young and the older ones, older generation. They perhaps both have some time and they can learn such a lot from each other. Thank you. And oh, I think Larissa has gone. We'll give her a second to come back. Otherwise, yes, I can hear the noise. I think she will come back now. Larissa, are you there? Can you give us your final thoughts? We can't hear you at the moment.
No.
Yes,
Oh, my
we can hear you now.
Yes.
Have you gone to call your parents?
Yes.
Good idea. Good idea. Yes, I spoke to mine yesterday. Okay, guys. Well, we've gone over time, so I will say thank you to all the participants today, Andreas, Natalia, and Larissa. It's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a nice weekend. Take care, guys.
Thank you. Take
Thank
care.
you. Bye bye now.